Thanks, Al. Final thoughts here with Venus Williams. Any special conversation in the locker room between the two sisters prior to this one?
No, nothing different than usual. Just getting ready to play against a great player, and I'll try my best.
Can you view this as just another quarterfinal match, or is that difficult to get out of your mind?
Well, it's tough because I respect her game more than anyone else on the tour, so it makes it even more of a challenge for me.
Thanks, Venus. Good luck. With Venus Williams, and now we'll talk to Serena. Here she comes. This is the 11th time they've played in Grand Slam competition. Good to see you. I'll ask you the same question. Can you view this as just another quarterfinal match since it's against Venus?
Yeah, I mean, it's against a great player, so I have to be ready.
And what are your nerves like right now going out there on Arthur Ashe Stadium court?
This is for a spot in the semis, so it's just want to do well.
All right, Serena, good luck. Thanks a lot. Al?
Okay, Michael, these interviews brought to you by the American Express card, official card of the U.S. Open. Are you a card member? Serena, the number 4 seed, Venus, the number 7 seed. Starting in 1999, they ran off between the two of them 4 straight U.S. Opens.
Yeah, incredible. And what must this be like to have to face your sibling in this, to want something so badly, but have to take it away from someone you love so much? What a terrible spot to have to be in.
When just a few weeks ago they had an Olympic gold medal to share on the top of the podium together.
I know. It's a great story, though. We'll be watching this movie in about 15, 20 years, the Williams sisters. Epic.
This is Prime Time at the Open, presented by American Express.
Another chapter in this compelling story of the two sisters who came from public parks. Once upon a time, we thought this was going to be an annual occurrence. In fact, the women's final was moved under the lights in large part because of Serena and Venus. But that hasn't happened. Neither one has played in the U.S. Open final since the first time it was played under the lights. And we went through a while thinking we'd never see them play again. But it happened at Wimbledon in the final this year, and now tonight, oddly, and in many cases, unfortunately, it happens in the quarterfinals as Venus and Serena play at the United States Open. Well, it's certainly a marquee night, so we've got our marquee team in place here, champions galore. We all had a chance to watch the Wimbledon final where the sisters played each other. And what struck me, Tracy, what struck me more than anything in that match was how upset Serena was at the end. That perhaps now it's not sisters as much against each other as it is two great players trying to win a championship.
Very much so. I mean, Serena wanted to win that title so badly, and John and I called it together, and Serena just started out like gangbusters. She was playing so well in that first set, and to me, the emotions seemed to take over, and Venus was just more calm throughout the match and more steady and consistent. And you're exactly right. That one memory that I have, obviously besides Venus winning, was just how disappointed Serena was, and she really let it show, particularly in the trophy ceremony. This was a very high-quality match, though, for the two sisters, and I'm hoping that because, Ted, now they're 26 and 28, they're a little bit more mature, they're getting used to the situation.
And John, it's funny watching the faces again during the interviews that Michael just did. I thought the same thing. Serena looked to be, you know, Venus got her 5th Wimbledon this year. She's got a champ. Serena hasn't won a title this year. And she looked to be a little bit more focused, perhaps.
I think that you're going to see more intensity from Serena. The funny part, though, is that Tracy and I were right on the court. And I know I was thinking at the time that my heart was telling me Venus, but my head was telling me Serena. And to me, Venus found that extra gear because Serena came out incredibly well in that match. And Venus was able to lift her game. And in some ways, I know that they're sisters and they play all the time, but it threw and shocked Serena to some extent. I don't think she ever recovered. And now, given the set of circumstances that we're in here, I think that the upside is bigger for Serena because she can finish #1 in the world. And so I think that you're gonna find her dig deeper. And that was the best tennis match I ever saw, Ted, the two play. The quality of the tennis for a set and a half until it really sort of surprisingly ended was the best, and they were really going at it more than I've ever seen. So I expect to see more of that today. Who do I think is going to win? Well, you've got Venus Williams, who's playing quite well, obviously, who's got the bigger reach and the bigger first serve and covers more ground. You got Serena Williams, who's a little bit stronger and you would think would want it more. So I thought I brought a coin with me. The point is, I have no idea.
Right.
It is so 50-50 because they played so well to get here. Everything's very, very equal.
Right, fitting with their career record against each other, 8-8. But I think also, bigger picture, look where we are right now in women's tennis. In the same year where Kim Clijsters has gone, Justine Henin has gone, Maria Sharapova is hurt and can't be here. I mean, I think we have to be quite blunt. The Williams sisters are carrying right now.
They're saving women's tennis.
Yeah, what would you like the rules to be for 2009, Venus and Serena? Let's do that immediately.
And they do like the new rules for next year because there are less tournaments that they are demanded to play, less mandatory tournaments, and that's good for them because really people out there, Ted, have a tough understanding of why Venus and Serena have to play in the quarterfinals, and it's because they don't play as much as the other top players.
All right, so they're
I got an idea. Showing the schedule.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Has anybody ever suggested that before? All right, well, it's filling up an Ash Stadium for prime time. Serena and Venus again. They're just warming up. You can already see flashes going off around Ash Stadium, and not everybody's here yet, but they're sitting in the top row all the way around, which lets you realize that it's going to be full tonight. As well it should be.
It's impossible to top this day, I would think, this 1-2 punch. You know, you got the new #1 going against an American, and you got the Williams sisters playing here. And if Serena wins this, Tracy, I assume that she will take over the #1 ranking, or does that depend on how the Yankovic and Safina do?
No, if Serena takes the title.
If she wins this, she's #1.
Yes.
So that's a definite upside. She's played more this year than she has for the last, I think it's been a number of years since she's played this many events.
That's absolutely right. As we've referenced during the event here, this is the first time in Serena's career that she has played all 4 slams in back-to-back years. So the measure of that, being a little healthier, being a little more committed to playing. But what I have a difficult time, we've talked about this, is so Serena can win the U.S. Open and be #1. If Venus wins the U.S. Open, can she be #1?
She cannot.
And she would have won Wimbledon and the U.S. Open and would not be #1. So someone explain that to me.
Let's enjoy this match.
Serena Williams first. Ready? Play.
Can I take voice lessons from that umpire? I mean, he makes me want to try harder out there.
Let's see if we get a package discount.
15. No.
All right, so one tactical question. Venus was talked a lot, especially her last round, coming to net more. Will she come to net more against Serena?
I think that she should on the right shot. She's tough to pass. I think she's a better volleyer than Serena. There's no doubt it's an advantage to be able to come to the net in the women's game because there are so few players that do it. Players aren't used to having to come in.
You know what's interesting? You don't know. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 questions. You just, that's why it's going to be, you just sit back and say, okay, let's see what happens. You would think, based on what you've seen. Stopped playing because she thought the ball was going in the net. That's not a good call there. It was close enough.
This is very unusual. Haven't seen this before. Just misjudged it. There's just so little between them. I think if you break down their games, Venus does have the quicker first serve. But if I had to pick one to have as my own, I would pick Serena's. More technically sound, more consistent. second serve usually deeper.